Hey, girl. Hey, girl.
Hey, melanin dripping, sweet candy coated honey bar, good looking. The way how you moving, put me in a mood, I'm glad to see you. Your waistline on the baseline, so attractive, I wanna be a captive. I see a smile on your face now, so beautiful, I know you're original.
So come push back on me, I wanna see if you got good chemistry. And come wind up on me, don't hold back, y'all, just be free. I love how you dance and show off. You have my attention, girl, you're sweet off. Dance to me, baby, step out. Just keep it moving, cause we still grooving. I love how you dance and show off. You have my attention, girl, you're sweet off. Dance to me, baby, step out. Just keep it moving, cause we still grooving. Cause we still grooving. Cause we still grooving. Cause we still grooving.
Come talk to me, girl. Classy and intelligent, are you run the world? I let me sit face to face. Know your feet detention, just had to mention. Your brown eyes, shining bright, so gorgeous and glowing like sunlight. Hear your voice, angelic high, so amazing, I wanna keep this going.
So come push back on me, I wanna see if you got good chemistry. Come wind up on me, don't hold back, y'all, just be free. I love how you dance and show off. You have my attention, girl, you're sweet off. Dance for me, baby, step out. Just keep it moving, cause we still grooving. I love how you dance and show off. You have my attention, girl, you're sweet off. Dance for me, baby, step out. Just keep it moving, cause we still grooving. Cause we still grooving. Cause we still grooving. Cause we still grooving.
Hey, girl, I wanna take you home with me.
And hey, girl, show you good energy, yeah.
Hey, girl, I wanna treat you right, you see.
Hey, girl. So come wind back for me, I wanna see if we got good chemistry. And come wind up for me, don't hold back, y'all, just be free. I love how you dance and show off. You have my attention, girl, you're sweet off. Dance for me, baby, step out. Just keep it moving, cause we're still grooving. I love how you dance and show off. You have my attention, girl, you're sweet off. Dance for me, baby, step out. Just keep it moving, cause we're still grooving. I love how you dance and you have my attention. And dance for me, baby. Just keep it moving, cause we're still grooving. I love how you dance and show off. You have my attention. And dance for me, baby, step out. Keep it moving, we're still grooving. Cause we're still grooving. Step out. Hey.
Anybody ever told ya what a woman really is? If you ever get the moment, show them how much they give. You're a shoulder I can cry on, arms I can embrace. Is to hear my deepest thoughts, protect her night and day. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. You are amazing, cause you have given life. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. You're all amazing. I try to describe. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
You have birthed the nations. A nurturer you are. You bless us with your wisdom, and you tended every scar. You have found me broken. You have shown me light. You ignited all my passions and loved me through the night. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. You are all amazing, cause you have given life. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. You are all amazing. I try to describe. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
To be a woman is to be blessed with unparalleled intuition, to be powerful, power independent of place or position. To be a woman is to be a mother, giving birth to sons and daughters, ideas, institutions, and business ventures. To be a woman is to be the current inspiration, the future aspiration of a young lady, of a little girl.
You're a masterpiece of harmony, a melody of life. You're a gem, a diamond flower in spring, you're one of a kind. You're a masterpiece of harmony, a melody of life. You're an African queen flower in spring, you're one of a kind. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. So you are amazing. I try to describe. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. You are woman. You are woman. You are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are woman. You are woman. So you are woman. Hey. And when obstacles manifest as natural, you are born for this.
To be a woman is to be the heart of the system, to be the one who brings life into our world.
Never thought I'd fallen in love again. No, never. But my heart's been stolen again. This time, hope it lasts forever. We'll go beyond, 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 beyond.
It's been a while now since love's been in this place. You see, many have tried, but no one could take your place, girl. Why you so beautiful? I see the future in your face, baby. Never in a million years I thought that you'd be mine, girl. That you'd be mine, girl. Never thought I would fall. my heart's been stolen again. But my heart's been stolen. Last forever. We'll go. Ooh, baby. We'll go, baby. We keep going and growing, girl. The best thing is knowing, girl. Cause when we KISSING, all I can say is OMG. My love in my life, you make all things right, baby. I trust you, girl, with my life. I don't want nobody but you. I'ma put my ring on you. Never thought no, never. Ooh, baby. Again. This time, hope it lasts forever. We'll go beyond. We will go so far. Beyond. You always find what you're looking for, and you ain't looking for a thing. We ain't looking for a thing. Yeah, you always find what you're looking for, and you ain't looking for a thing. Never thought I. No, never. Ooh, baby. Been stolen again. This time, hope it lasts forever. I hope, baby. I hope it lasts forever, girl. I hope it lasts forever, girl. Hey, 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 hey. We'll go, baby. We'll go, baby. Ooh, we'll go, baby. We will go so far, baby. I hope it lasts forever, baby.
Warning. What you are about to hear goes against traditional romantic counsel expressed by friends, family, and Instagram memes and quotes. Open-mindedness is advised.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, and welcome to another edition of the Senate Podcast. I'm your host, Neil, as always, and as always, I'm joined by my brother, Derek.
Hail.
And we are here for the Thursday edition of the Senate. How you doing, my brother? How is everything? Well, you are doing exceptionally well, it seems.
Yeah, man, I'm great as always. Today was leg day number 2 in the gym, so feeling pretty good. Not a pretty intense one, but it helps to keep you feeling alive and everything. Good night to Denise in the chat early.
Shout out Denise.
And yeah, man, I decided I want 2022 to be my fittest year of life yet. So I'm working diligently towards that. So yeah, that's where we at right now, man. How about you? What's going on?
My good man. Today was a self-care day, so just do a little stuff for myself. Other than that,
yeah,
and the reason why I decided to do that is because I was promised that tonight was gonna be incendiary for me. So I decided to treat myself very well. I
so when it get rough, you'll be all right.
Right. Yeah. So I'm in a good space right now. Good night to Marlon. Shout out Marlon. Hope everything is well. So ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Senate podcast. While we wait for people to come in, those that are here ready, I have no doubt that you're subscribed and that you have hit the notification bell. But if you're watching and you haven't hit the notification bell or you haven't subscribed, consider doing that right now. Give us a like, so that we can know exactly where we're going, or you could give us a dislike so we can know exactly where we're going. And most importantly, share with your friends. I know some people have told me behind the scenes that they're sharing it with their friends, etc. So we really do appreciate that. Shout out to Steve, shout out to Aston, what a guan. And Derek, yes, we would have had G-Syndicate be kind of warming us up for tonight's episode. So again, as always, let everybody know how, when, and where to find G-Syndicate and update the people.
Yeah, man, you can find G-Syndicate at gsyndicate6.com. Good night to you, Jennifer. You can also find us on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at G-Syndicate6. But then on Instagram, it's G-Syndicate6, but you got to spell out 6, S-I-X-6. So yeah, man, we here, we working, doing our thing, and the New Year's turned over. We can start back rehearsing on Sunday. So we looking forward to that. Some new shows we want to bring and everything. So we would have spoken about that, Neil, in another time and space. But yeah, man, we got some stuff we want to bring out for everybody and make sure everything cut and career, as what people would say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, Marlon is saying he's having a celebratory shot of premium whiskey. Apparently, he has a good UV results. So congratulations, to you, my brother.
Man. We see Mikey Mercer.
Oh, big respects, Mike. Good to see you as always, my brother.
Good man there. Lee A.O. is here. Thank you very much for joining us. Jennifer is in the crank. All right, no.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we do content for you 5 days a week. And part of that is on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have this space here, the live stream that is at 8 Barbados every Tuesday and Thursday. And this is no different, where we are here, and there usually goes on our Facebook page, the Senate podcast on Facebook. Usually post something there to let everybody know what's coming for the next episode, to get the conversation going, and kind of give you something to think about, and as we get into this discussion. This is obviously no different. Derek would have posted something and titled it "The Expendables," the name of tonight's episode. So my brother, lead us to tonight's sermon.
I will do that. So good night to everybody. I see my good brother Mikey in the house, man. Good to see you. Appreciate you coming through. Tonight, before we get cranking, right? Let me issue a disclaimer to those gentlemen in the house and to the ladies in the house who care about, well, you're here, so I assume you care about these things. So, let me issue a disclaimer up front, and let me say tonight's show may be especially triggering. You are going to see and hear some potentially disturbing things. So set up yourself right, okay? Make sure the tray in front of you is in an upright position and upright and locked position. Yeah, tuck your head and let me crack on, right? So Neil, I would have sent you a video just now.
Hi, friends.
When I say just now, I mean like
literally just now.
Literally just now.
Yeah.
If you can play that video, let's play that video. Let's have a watch of that video. I found this video not too long ago.
Okay, yeah. All right. So we'll get into this here right now. It's on screen and
raped a bunch of kids.
Good night to you, Erica.
You went over there and beat a bunch of people up, acting like you're real soldiers for some American job. Because when it comes down to this real, if we need to run up in the Capitol, or come after the government for all the they're putting us through, it's men gonna stand there and protect who are oppressing every single one of us. Men. ain't doing for this world and ain't done for this world in ages, want women to sit over here and pay for your toilet paper and suck your you crying because a woman wants you to pay for her meals and take care of her and be a protector. Then you mad because all these women is running around here dating other women. Men. Yeah, I'm angry because y'all have created an environment that is dangerous. The earth is dangerous because men kill people and they abuse people.
All right, yeah. So I told you tonight was going to be a little bit rough. Tonight going to be a little bit rough. That's just to set the tone for how we going on, right? We just set the tone.
Okay.
Yes, my brother. Yeah, you're all right. You're all right.
You go ahead. You go ahead. You do your thing. Do your thing.
You sure you're all right?
I processing, but you go ahead.
Okay, good. All right. So I see the people in the house a little perplexed already. So let me go on. Tonight's show for is entitled The Expendables. And if you remember the movie series, remember Sylvester Stallone, my guy Sly? He and his crew of stars from days of yore. They are a group of elite mercenaries who carry out all sorts of missions, ranging from assassination to rescue. Yeah. And given that job description, it's safe to say that their line of work is usually fraught with extreme danger. So loss of life is highly probable. The thing is, if their lives were lost, it was no big deal because they knew the risk and they took the job essentially, and it didn't matter that much to whomever had hired them, right? So this got me to thinking about the parallels between Stallone and his crew and men today. Now, one of our regular contributors, Cherish sent me an article this morning called Male Expendability, Inspiring or Exploitative. I think I would have sent you a graphic for that, Neil. I think, see you there, your rum early. You get a rum.
You told me to bring a rum, and I don't normally drink rum, very special occasions, but I feel like
you need one to make it through the end of this.
Yeah, if you set the tone. You said what was the men expendability? Male expendability. Mm-hmm.
This is an article she would have sent me this morning, and it's a very interesting read. And I'd like to thank her for submitting it. Mm-hmm. This is Cherish, by the way. So this article made the point that for millennia, right, men have been viewed as expendable because of a number of factors, right? First among those factors is that one man can impregnate several women, and we all know this to be true. Yeah, we know. Thus making wombs more valuable. Remember, we had Ramel on the show. Ramel talked about the value of a womb, and people took him to task for it, but that's another story. Right? We ain't gonna get into that now. So now, in the interest of fairness and equality, Neil, I feel that I must say that I am aware that some women try to keep up with men in terms of their fecundity, right? But a woman only has a particular window in which she can reproduce. Yeah, a man carries millions of children daily and can reproduce well into his old age. I like to think that is an accepted fact, right? You ain't seeing it 60 and 70-year-old women bearing children like that, right? In other words, you can get seed from anywhere, yeah? And anything that is in surplus is less valuable. That's just, supply and demand, basic. Right? Secondly, men's greater physical strength and aggression means that they took on the roles back in the day of hunter, warrior, protector, and provider. Right? Now, men aren't required to go out and hunt and gather like that before, like they would have in days of yore, but the dangers have changed. So we still got men, going out, fixing a roof, that kind of thing, doing the more physically demanding jobs, doing the more dangerous jobs, going up on a light pole, that kind of thing for light and power, right? The article said, and let me quote the article now. The article said, in the harshest of environments, before the rise of civilization, men's physical strength was needed to perform the dirty and dangerous work that kept everyone alive. Men accepted their expendability and did what needed to be done, but in return expected at least a little more power and privilege. So they patriarchy, right? You know?
Oh, don't do that.
Yeah. Women accepted this arrangement, either gratefully or grudgingly, depending on one's perspective, because they needed men's protection for themselves and for their children. Right? End quote. Now, what has happened, folks, ladies and gents, in the Senate, Neil, my brother, what has happened now is that the world is now civilized to the point where men are seen as obsolete. Not only obsolete, but now also the source of all things deleterious to human existence. Yeah? You don't need a man to bring water for you to go and fetch the water. Turn on your pipe, or water flows, unless you're in St. Joseph or St. Lucie. Show condolences to you guys in St. Joseph and St. Lucie, right? You don't need a man to bring firewood. Hit the light switch and everything's sorted. You know what I mean? You don't need a man to bring food. Head over to Massey and as much food as you want and can pay for, you could get. These creature comforts have made the modern man obsolete in the minds of a lot of modern women. Let me stress on a lot, not all, because you know they like to say these, you can't use these blanket statements and say all women. So a lot of women, not all. If you don't believe me, folks, if you don't believe me, check out what I found in my recent expedition through the wilderness. That is social media, right? So Neil, I would have sent you some pictures. This is some stuff from Cynthia G, right? There's a content creator called Cynthia G. Can we get her on screen, Neil?
Right. Cynthia G is there.
Right? Good. Now I just sent you a picture. You're going to have to play it, show this picture right now, right? She did a live stream a few weeks ago entitled, "If Aborting Black Males Isn't the Solution, What Is?" You got that on screen, Neil?
That is.
Let me read that again for those of you who might be just listening to me, you're not reading the screen. Let me read it for those of you who are just listening. If aborting black males isn't the solution, what is? Right? Now I would have sent you some stuff from earlier in the day, some sound bites. You know, we got the little copyright things going on, so we don't want to take the boy stuff. We change it up, we bring it different, right? So what we can do, we can take that picture of Cynthia G, we can put it on screen, and we can run these sound bites at the same time. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, we can facilitate that, Neil.
Yeah. And I can even do you one better. I can make sure that we are on screen at the same time, so that everything is above board and everything.
Fantastic. All right. So I would have sent you I would have numbered them for you and everything, so you can just run them off one after the next, right? So it's her and another lady on the live stream. So let's hear what these two fantastic, lovely black ladies have to say, right?
All right, let's get it.
I just wanted to tell you also, it's really interesting. The amount of pushback that's coming back without the without any opposition to men that are derelict and men that are harming women, right? But what's crazy to me is, that I'm seeing, I only got sent a screenshot just recently. Men are some of these men are in support. I'm seeing more and more men, even men that have been loosely affiliated with the Black manosphere, saying abort. I saw
of course they are.
Two men actually shared an abort message today that like some of these men need to have been aborted. But see, here's my problem with that. Sure, abort, I think is that abort.
Keep talking while I run upstairs real quickly.
Okay, no problem. I would say that abortion definitely is something that Black women should be considering when it comes to giving birth to these men. And again, I know that a lot of people are looking at it as if it's something horrible, that it's genocidal. But at this point, it literally is connected to your survival. There is nothing or no one in place to protect and defend Black women, including Black men, against our biggest enemies and our biggest threats. As we've said time and time before, most of us that have weapons to defend ourselves, we did not purchase those weapons with having the understanding that we were going to have to protect ourselves from white people. It just is what it is.
Here's the thing about this being an emotional discussion, because I've listened to some people on different live stream where they've called in and they're like, oh, it's just such an illogical discussion. And, it's basically saying it's an emotional reaction and we're just angry. And that's why we're saying it. And that's the same shaming language that has always been used to silence Black people. It's actually some of the white supremacist language that has been used to gaslight Black people into not talking about solutions about racism.
To even have to, even think about giving birth to someone that is the seed of a demon, because at the end of the day, that's what's going on. And to be honest, I would suffer to say that I would not be, if I was still out here giving out womb, if I was out here in a position to be having kids still and I wasn't a grandmother, there would be no way I would be risking having a child by a demon, male or female. Have to go away. They really do. Because at this point, okay, so they've not been able to be held fully accountable for what's done. And every L that Black women are holding currently, I am willing to give to Black men, right? But once once you're awake, once you understand it, once you see the results of what they've left you, why you have to be responsible. Of course, in a perfect world, I would say don't even sleep with them. But if you are going to sleep with them, definitely try not to put yourself in a position to be giving birth. Like it's a sad situation.
I'll tell you right, Neil. That last part, I agree with that part.
But,
yeah. I agree with that part.
But,
go ahead, my brother.
But this woman is saying, do not protect yourself and use contraceptives. She is not saying marry before you carry. She is saying abort.
Yeah. But Neil, let's take a deep dive in because I love you guys. And let me say here, I watched a lot of this live stream, okay? Just for you guys. Yeah? Just for you guys. I watched a lot of this. A tough watch, but I watched it. Right? Because I just wanted to see that expression on Neil's face as well, too, right? So, and Erica is saying because these women sound intelligent doesn't mean they aren't crazy. And that was the part that really impressed me. The logic, the way they were able to deliver that stuff, right?
What got me is that the video got 48,000 views.
48,000 views. But Neil, I took a deep dive in the comment section. So let's get into the comment section a little bit. Yeah.
All right, let me get that on screen. I would assume, yeah, okay. Got you covered.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what you got there? These are the responses, right?
Right. This one here is, excellent live.
Excellent live as always. Black women, keep your options open. We are not the mules of the community, so don't play that role. We deserve men who will provide and protect. Let Black men save themselves. All right. What else you got for me there? Okay, this lady says, I visited a deletion clinic once and felt so bad for the Black women there. Majority of the Black women were there alone or accompanied by another Black woman. There were barely any Black men there. I saw scared, worried, regretful women there, some trembling in fear. I wanted to hug them and ease their situation. Protesters were shouting at these Black women while shaming and guilting them as they walked in the building. You already know most had to pay on their own too. Deletions start at $400 and can get as high as $1,000 plus. Most deletion clinics are full of Black women. Could you imagine all that trauma? Let me read that last part again, right? Most deletion clinics are full of Black women. Anyhow, I'm going forward. Yeah. Let me go for it, Neil.
Mm-hmm.
Whether you agree or disagree, logically, there is no other option. The women before us were unable to make this decision, and I agree it is disheartening. We even have to talk like this. It's really life or death at this point. Either we are going to create our current oppressors or birth the next upper class that will become the oppressor within the next 30 to 50 years.
What?
Most people do not know that biracial people were historically used to further the divide between blacks and whites. They tended to be harsher rulers than the people of no color as well. Black women are in an awful situation no women should have to be in. The question is, what are we going to do about it?
What? This
Go
reading
ahead,
like a
brother.
science fiction
Go.
movie
Go
be
ahead,
like.
This is further to the comment you just read. Something has to be done because we are heading towards extinction as it is. Please evaluate what is being said from a realistic standpoint and start being more strategic. Close those wombs. That I do agree with. Let's go on, Neil. Let's go on.
Yeah, we there.
You with me? Barely.
Yeah, barely.
More and more, I'm starting to think Cynthia is right about this topic. Let's keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Good live, Cynthia. The mammies were too much on your phone line tonight. Everything you said is correct, and black women do need to selective breed. Glad you cleared up the dust. Mm-hmm. I told y'all this was gonna be triggering. The only real solution is not to have their kids, and if these mammies had any better solutions, they would have presented one by now. Most of them are too busy coddling their sons rather than actually raising them, which is why most of their sons turn out the way they do. And that is a fantastic comment. You know why I like it? Because they're complaining about these men. And then we ask the question, who raises these men? But I will not digress. I will go forward. I love to hear Cynthia going on trash bags. I live for it. Whole set of laughing emojis. When these goofies call in, I get weak laughing at them. Because obviously men would have called in to dispute her talking points. And she obviously went in, right? Because she controls the show, obviously. The person at the bottom says selective breeding would be best. Great live, Cynthia. And then the person at the top, cut that out in red so that I wouldn't miss it by accident, right? It was a guy. And this is what the guy says. Instead of marrying before you carry, the logic here is to have sex without commitment, legal marriage, and then delete the child. Just making sure I get it.
Yeah, that's the last one.
That's the last one. All right. So for oh, folks, in 2021, apparently it is reasonable for us to consider the early termination of black boys, right? Very little to no accountability for the women and their actions, but let's delete black boys King Herod style, right?
What is what it sounds like to me?
Yeah.
Honestly, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Sadly, folks, that live stream is still on YouTube. So if any of you wish to go and traumatize yourself a little bit, you can go and you can search for it. You can give it a watch, right?
Meanwhile, we having issues anyhow.
Yeah. I can get to that. I can get to that. Don't worry.
Meanwhile.
Now, Abby made an appearance in the chat a few weeks ago, and she made the point that words matter, okay? But it seems as if those words only matter when women are on the receiving end of those words. When men are on the receiving end, it's all fair game and anything can be written or said. But when it's women on the receiving end, oh, no. You must be circumspect to the point where you can't even state the truth, because if you offend, you're labeled as a chauvinist, sexist, misogynist, and all the other ists that abound, right? We watched a clip from Jungle Fever on Tuesday night, and we heard point blank, all men are dogs. There are no good ones left. And right here in our very chat room, I read with my own eyes a few months ago, Neil, that men are dangerous. And if I was a woman, I would have had a dildo for sex and a gear frame for companionship. The hurtful part about that last comment that came from a man, a married man. I wonder if he thinks his wife considers him to be dangerous, right? But if you doubt, folks, that this thinking about men being dangerous is pervasive, if you doubt that it is pervasive, let's take a look at a post from TikTok. Where the question was asked, what would you do if there were no men for 24 hours? Right? My guy Stephen Wolf would have sent me this. So the question was, let me make sure I got it right. What would you do if there were no men on earth for 24 hours? And then here is the comment section. So let me just make sure that I am with you. Right, go on a walk alone at night or ride my bike alone. Please note on the right hand side the number of the the likes, right?
What wellness.
Somebody that says walk alone at night, not carrying anything and feel confident. A massive picnic with my girls. Precious. Right, a massive picnic with my girls at late and sleep under the stars. Somebody says, I don't know, wear whatever I want outside without being scared. Yes, Mrs. Cat, she is known for sleeping with a trash bag, and yeah, she is known for that. Somebody says, I take a moped and drive around in a big city during the night by myself. Somebody else says, go on walks at night. Somebody says, dance around town at 3 a.m. without fearing for my life. Wear an actual bathing suit and go to the beach. Somebody says, live how I want to live. Somebody says, run around at night blasting music into my headphones without feeling like I need to take one out. Walk alone in the city and just breath. Ride bikes with my best friend at night without our guy friends having to be there for safety on a Saturday night wearing whatever I want. Somebody says, be confident on social media. Yeah, you posted this. I would blast music through both of my AirPods, wear a mini skirt and tube top, and take a walk late at night. Somebody says, wear whatever I want and feel safe while doing so. Somebody says, this comment section is so painfully true. Somebody says, go on a walk alone at nighttime and just vibe. Now, I don't know about you, Neil, but even as a man, I am not inclined to just walk around at night.
But
just saying.
But what has me? What is freaking me out is one, yes, men perpetuate more dangerous crimes. Men are the ones that go out and, do things that they shouldn't be doing, right? Robbery. That happens due to lack of funds and drugs or vices, whatever it is.
Yeah, those are only things males experience.
But yeah, even if men only experience them, the point is that this is like, it is interesting. So in the United States, they talk about gun control, right? Eliminate the guns. And Americans are fighting back and saying, no, we're not eliminating the guns. That don't make sense. Guns aren't the problem. People are the problem. Right? In this situation, I would not necessarily say men are the problem. Society is the problem. You understand what I mean? Like,
you hold tight, my brother. Hold tight. I got you covered. Right? Now you would have seen the comment section in both Cynthia G's live and the TikTok. Right? What a lot of contributors to the comment section decided to ignore. Right, and especially in the TikTok just now, is that when they dial their emergency numbers, 9 times out of 10, a man is who will show up on the spot to offer assistance. A woman may answer the phone. But if you call 211 for the police here in Barbados, Some men get turned in the van.
But hold on a minute, Derek. But you understand the thinking. The thinking is men are the problem. So if you eliminate men, you will not have no police. You will need police.
But here's the thing: what they're failing to acknowledge is that, and see Denise put it in the chat, they too are capable of violent crime.
But you see,
they don't seem to recognize that.
But the problem is is that if you look at the proportionate between men and women perpetuating violent crimes, it is very skewed toward men. So they can always look at that data and say, well, look at what men do. But the problem is not that, okay, this is how we look at things, right? And I'm real sorry. I know, you see, the funny thing about it, before we started, you say, if you get through your monologue, right? Lucky thing that we didn't bet for real. But my issue here is that all jokes aside, as painful as it is, in 2020 there was 126,430 situations, cases in America, so their feelings have some validity. But here's my thing, right? And I don't want to have to do this, right? Because I know how this can be conflated and how this can be construed. But we are talking about 126,430 cases amongst 300. How many women are there in the United States? The point is yes, it is atrocious. Yes, it's something that should not be happening. And yes, we should look at teaching young men how to value women and not perpetuate these crimes. But to holistically say, let's commit an act against a whole gender because of literally a fraction of a percentage of the population? Tell me if I'm making sense here. Like, I understand that violent crimes happen and men perpetuate them, right? But how about we look at certain things? One, let us look at child welfare and raising children properly, right? Let us look at the systems.
Because here's the thing, Neil. When we go into and we drill down into the people committing those same cases that Rian has highlighted now, yeah, we had Ramel Miller. When Ramel came on the show as a former prison warden, he said most of the men he spoke to in prison were raised by whom?
But you see, this is a catch-22 now, because watch, people are going to say that the reason why women are raising men alone is because the men bailing. So it can still come back to us.
Here's the thing, Neil, right? Because I thought about this. My daughter's mother has never for a minute thought that I would not have been there for my daughter, supporting my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She and I may not be anything, but that thought has never crossed her mind.
Mm-hmm.
I am certain the same applies to you and your son's mother.
Right.
I'm sure it applies for a lot of the men in this chat. Right? I didn't want to get into so much of the blaming game and who do and all that, but that's why I keep coming back to what they're saying, what the lady said on Cynthia G's live, right? You have to be more selective, right? Point blank. You have to be. And again, I don't want to get into that too much. And when you talk about coming to argue or debate in bad faith, if there were no men for 24 hours, everything would cease. But what about the other side? Men have no positives to bring to the table. That is what this comment section is saying. That is what the Cynthia G's life is saying. Men bring nothing positive to the table.
To the point where
we can is violence.
To the point where we can get rid of them en masse
from birth. So we ain't even waiting to see what could become of them. We can just get rid of them. Ladies and gents, Neil, you always say the dating game is not set up for men to win, right? Mm-hmm. Folks forget about winning. We are not even supposed to compete. And more, I'm starting to think we are not even supposed to exist. We men have become the Expendables.
Okay, all right. You gotta give me a minute. You gotta give me a minute now because all right.
Shut up, my boy Hugh. I see Hugh in the chat, man.
Right.
Good to see him, brother.
Right. Okay. All right. So here's how I look at things, right? And I'm gonna give you all an inside look. Don't let me get ahead of myself. Don't. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Senate podcast. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Dislike, comment, share, subscribe, share with your friends. We do content for you 5 days a week, 3 days a week. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we do the shortened version of this space called the Senate Shorts, where we take a lighthearted look at some of the things going on out there. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have this space, 8 p.m. Barbados time. We get into the issues and we have the live stream. Anyhow, so here's my thing, Derek, right? I'm going to go back to something somebody said earlier in the chat, in that when you speak intelligently, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're not crazy. I'm not going to go to crazy because I don't believe in dismissive. As Abby said, words matter. And I am trying to curtail my language to the point where I'm more pointed in what I say instead of being dismissive, right? I am not a man that is ready to dismiss people or language. So what do we have? What's the situation today in the world? The situation today in the world is men perpetuate at an alarming rate, more so, violent crimes than women, right?
Mm-hmm.
The numbers say that. We cannot deny it, right? No. When you look at the amount of violent crimes, shoot, we were looking at, Rian put it in the chat, 126,340, I think it was, cases of a sexual assault nature took place in 2020. In 2019, there were 167,700,000 women in the United States, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you take a percentage of that, that is infinitely small in a fraction. I'm not discrediting those victims or what happened. I'm trying to make a point here. And the point is that for something that by all metrics is an aberration or outlier, you would think that you would deal with the outlier and put systems in place in your society to deal with those people that perpetuate certain things. Shoot, you could crack the genetic code, the DNA code, and you can see people that have a proclivity to violence. We've seen it in science fiction movies and everything like that. No, we're not thinking about that. That's extreme. That's science fiction. Okay, we can have reform in our societies where we educate men and women on how to treat men and women, right? But let me not say men and women because men are the ones that are the problem. We treat men from young how to raise men and how to treat women, right? We can have reforms for the nuclear family. We can try our best to implement the rearing of children. Shoot, we're going from one extreme to the next. Why don't we limit? We have a license to have a child. If you want a child, you have to apply for a license. You and your partner have to submit psychological evaluations. You have to submit financials. You got to submit a whole laundry list of things before you conceive a child, right? And you're only limited to a certain amount of children, right? Nobody ain't talking about that extreme. No, because countries like China and other places do that, and they are looked at with judgment on how they run their society. No, we're not doing that. Good. So we are free in 2022 to have sex with whomever we want and to procreate with whomever we want. Yeah? We are not telling women to be more discerning. No, we are not telling women to be more discerning with how they give access to their body and of their womb, because men lie. A man could come in with all great intentions and say, I love you, babe. I want to build with you. I will spend the rest of my life with you. And he got 5 other baby mamas, right? Fine. Cool. Right? But how are we getting from, the problem is men. skipping the society, which is a patriarchal society, as you all say. Right? We're skipping over that part, and we're going to genocide. Now, I don't know if y'all remember the story of, somebody made mention to it here in the chat, right? Where, remember, I think it was King Herod.
Yeah, kill all the firstborns.
Kill all the firstborns. And I remember, I don't know about you, but when I read newborns, when I was a little boy, and I read that, I was like, my God, this is violence. I can't imagine that. And you would have watched on Easter Sunday and those sorts of things, Christmas and stuff, and you would watch those programs that would depict them knocking on the door or kicking open the door in some cases and taking out the little boys and slaughtering them, right? Off screen. And I remember watching that like, oh my God, that's such a barbaric society. I am grateful that we are far removed from that society. But here it is now. We are talking about, and yes, I can get graphic with juxtaposing King Herod's time and what he did versus the baby deletion, we can call it, right? Because you are going to an absolute that does not make sense. There are several different things you can do as a man and as a woman, particularly as a woman, that you can curtail having a child for an unwanted person, right? I am sorry I don't have the numbers, and I wish whoever is in data statistics and anything like that, I would like certain information to be compiled. Like, for example, for every child that is born or every woman that got pregnant or had a baby deletion, how many of them were with people that were in love? How many of those people were people that had planned a life together? How many of those people, the man turned out to be a dud? How many of those people, you know what I mean? Like, those are such nuances that are necessary. Why? Because not every situation is a sexual assault. As I just proved, 120 in 2020, 227,000 women were assaulted, and there were 166,700,000 women in the United States at that time. If y'all do the math, you will see that's a very small fraction, meaning that the solution cannot be getting rid of men as a problem, because men there ain't getting out there doing them things. Shoot, people in the United States ain't getting doing things. Those are the people that do those things are despicable. Is it a failing in our genetic code? Like, is it a deformity? I don't know. The point is, it's not the norm. It is not the norm. So you are going to essentially wipe out an entire further generation of men, black men specifically, because that number, 126,300 and how much ever, that is United States altogether. It would be interesting to see how many of those people were black. You understand what I'm saying? So we are going to move from a situation of not dealing with why people are caught doing these things. No, we ain't going to do for the real reason why people are doing these things. Again, I can go back to the gun situation, because that's what they were talking about. It is first things first, it was so simple to get a gun. It is so simple to have a child. You understand what I mean? Now they're talking about putting certain procedures in place. You have to be registered, psychological evaluation, etc., 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 etc. You have to show a history before you can buy a gun. And even then, people still fitting into that category and doing not having gun safety or allowing other people access to the guns and selling guns on the black market and doing a whole bunch of things. And these crimes are still being perpetuated. So what is the situation? Do you get rid of guns? Men can start doing it with clubs. Men can start doing it with...
We're always guns. Violence has always existed in society.
Right? So we have to target why people are violent. Why are men violent? Right? What systems are in place to deal with that type of crime, that type of energy from men, right? What's the rehabilitation process? What's the education process? What is the welfare process?
It gotta start there.
We have to start how
the education. It gotta start with education.
How?
But it's easier to talk deletion because then we can, duck accountability.
But Derek, imagine again. I always go. Imagine the flip side. Imagine the flip side. Cheese on bread. These women out here carrying money from women, tricking from women, fleecing women. The problem is women.
Rinsing.
Every problem, if you look in history immemorial, problem has always been a woman. Wars have been started over women.
Sure. From the dawn of time.
From the dawn of time.
For the first woman.
From the dawn of time. So what we gonna do? Shoot, you're right. So now what we gonna do? Let me get rid of all baby girls. how you know, and it's very interesting to me, right? Because for as many faults as men have or perceive to have in this society, we don't ever talk in those sort of extremes. What's the most extreme thing a man would say? No, I don't subscribe to this, but men will say things that they need to get back in the kitchen and know the place. You understand what I mean? That is disgusting thought. That don't make sense to say, but that is the extreme men would say. Some men would say that we can talk about deleting a whole next generation because, as one person said, in 30, 50 years, they can be our oppressors and our overlords. So
you were compared to the seeds of a demon seed.
So I want you all to realize something, right? I can look at these numbers. I know this only anecdotally. Somebody said it in a thing that I watched, and I'm gonna do. If anybody knows it, y'all could think. But psychologically, men and women are about 60% the same. You know, about 60 to 70% the same in their thought process. Right, and if you look at their psychological makeup, they can't discern where the commonalities lie versus where the differences lie. So that is 70%, 60 to 7% of everything. So we don't know if violence, the propensity for violence is in there. We don't know if the propensity for lying is in there. We don't know. The point is that men and women are 60%, 60 to 70% the same. Again, don't quote me on that. Take that with a grain of salt, because I still am yet to find that data to solidify that. But I made that point to say we are not that far removed from being the same, right? In terms of, yes, men have we are aggressive by nature, and when they hear what the something goes here way in our brain, we tap into that instinct to do violent things. We can do stupid things. But it is a small percentage of men. It is less than 1% of men out there doing these crimes. Shoot, fine. You might want to bring statistics for some other place or the next, fine. I posit to you that it is less than 3% of these crimes that are happening around the world that men perpetrate. 3% of the population. The deletions, the assaults, all of these things, they are not the norm. We do not live in a society where, by and large, when you walk out the street, you can get delete or assault. Shoot, we live here in Barbados, right? We live here in Barbados. And I know a lot of people, the good and bad thing about the United States is that it's such a huge data pool. You can extrapolate a lot of information from it. And Barbados is so small, you know, certain things don't necessarily apply. And there are cultural differences as well. But we live in a society in the Western world where it is understood crime will happen. It is understood crime will happen, because watch the scene now. As much as violence happens toward women and perpetuated by men out here killing men too. As a matter of fact, the majority of crimes that are perpetuated by men are to men.
That doesn't matter, Neil.
So I want to understand how we have gotten to a space where we feel comfortable getting per Mark Zuckerberg internet, per Elon Musk web, and talking this foolishness about deleting babies.
Genocide. That's what it is.
Genocide. Right. So this is what I will say, right? Good night, Kevin. Shout out. And I can let Derek read the chat now and he can say some stuff, right? But I find this particularly concerning because me personally, I believe the problem is the human race. We are not good people. We are not, I actually believe that on planet Earth, we are the problem. As much as we are the benefit, we benefit the planet, we do more damage to it. And again, we do a lot of damage to ourselves. This ain't a man-woman thing. We as human beings have the propensity and the ability to do terrible things to one another. Shoot, look at the history, wars. I like true crime things, and the amount of things I see when they come, it blows my mind. Things that we do to each other, that we do to children, that we do to animals, that we do to the environment. But you ain't gonna hear me say, well, let me get rid of all people. You ain't gonna hear me say, let me get rid of all of these people. Let me get rid of all of that people. Shoot, we cannot even set up. Shoot, as much as I said earlier that we could go to the science fiction realm and do a DNA test to see if you're predisposed to violence, what we can do about that? We got to find a rehabilitation thing, because it is against the human right to life to extinguish that. For what reason? There is no. You don't remember, Derek? I get hype. When we were in fourth form, right, Derek? I remember in English, shout out Mr. Sawyer, a brilliant English teacher, right?
Facts.
And I don't know if Steve remember this because he was in my class. He was in our class.
Yeah.
We had a debate on capital punishment.
I
don't know if you remember this. And we were hung. I remember we were hung because there were people that say, you know, at the end of the day, it can't be taking a life for eye and this and that next. And
right.
I was the person that said, that sound good, but if I got a daughter and somebody trouble up my daughter, I can want to see the end of them. Right? Yep. So the point is that we have systems in place to deal with that. And the reason why we have those systems in place, and the reason why a government cannot implement certain measures, certain systems like rehabilitation and reform and education and that sort of thing, is because it is part of who we are as human beings. A small subsection. There are some people born hermaphrodites. There are some people born with more testosterone levels and less testosterone levels. There are aberrations in every subset of nature. The same way that is so, they are doing studies to prove or to see if your mental makeup, your DNA is crime or violent crimes or atrocities, is it environment based, or are you predisposed to violence based on your genetic makeup? Right? We don't know.
You can't.
We are literally building this ship as we fly it. Nobody, listen, as much as we feel we got these systems in place and we know things, we do not know anything about life. We don't know the meaning of life. We don't know the purpose of life. We have no idea what our purpose is here and what we are supposed to do. We've created all these man-made structures and rules, and we got the Bible, we got the Quran, we got all of these things, laws, everything, just in place to say, you know what, this is how you should live your life. Yeah? Whether you want to take it as love is love from the Bible, or you want to take or religious text, or you want to take it with you. If you do X, you ain't get Y, you ain't get lost when you're in jail, or you see death row. Right? We don't know. So, if your solution, I get it. We all been hurt. We all went through a lot of BS. If you are saying that based on your experience, based on what you see in society or whatever, that the number is so alarming to you that the less than 1% is so alarming to you that may have to go, then I don't know. I don't know. I see Steve say, remember that debate, but the people against capital punishment were arguing the point. If the exactly that, and I was one of those people saying, yo, when it sounds sweet, but land this man, you know, everybody need a second chance of rehabilitation. If this person trouble you, child, you ain't got the law taught for them. So
see, he was talking about the whole nature versus nurture, and as you said, Neil, you can't know, because those first 2 years of life are so important in terms of how you are nurtured. You know what I mean? So when you come up with a situation where, let me put it this way, right? A man cannot, and we're not talking about the situations that Rihanna would have highlighted. Not talking about that. We're talking about the situations where everything was consensual and we went down the road. A man cannot have access to you and your womb if you do not allow it, right? So if you know, you decide you're going out and you having a moment of pleasure and things get out of hand, you ain't using no condom, because there's one set of got birth control pills. We got a whole litany of them, right? And you decide then that you can bring this life to the world. You're now responsible for raising and nurturing that life and making sure that it is not a being to society, right? So what has happened is women like Cynthia G, sorry to call her out like that, but you know, somebody highlighted the fact that she herself decided to raise a child. But as somebody said in her comment section, you don't get the covering of a legal commitment, marriage or whatever. You don't have that. And then you decide, you know what? Let me just get rid of everybody resembles that man. Because that's what you're really looking at. You're getting rid of everybody that resembles that man. And let's just say it's a bit ridiculous. It's a bit old. It's out there.
But hold on. There is not only is it ridiculous, right? But here's my point is it is dangerous. Here is why it's dangerous, right? Because as ridiculous as we see it, and as ridiculous as we think that is something that it is a thought. I don't know if you all watch Inception or whatever, you know the nature of thoughts, but thoughts are seeds. Once you pull out that in enough people or the right person or a set of people, these things. But shoot,
Neil, we had a man back in the day, nearly 100 years ago, called Adolf.
I literally was just gonna talk about
Adolf at 5'4".
Was gonna talk about I was just gonna talk
about black hair, managed to convince a nation of people that the master race is 6'2", blonde and blue-eyed.
I literally was going to talk about that, man.
Right? And these two ladies got on the live stream and most convincingly delivered their message that, the only option for the survival of black people, for survival of black women, is to delete black boys. Logically, they put over their point. And then people in the comment section endorsed it and said what a great live it was.
48,000 people here. I even get to see how many likes and dislikes it had. I mean,
they called it a great live.
I didn't see any
and
profit.
They rolled with it. The perception is that men are dangerous. And we see that even here in Barbados. Men are dangerous.
You know, this goes back to something that I watched recently too. And I've been thinking about it, the patriarchy, because you know me, I always trying to get to the bottom of this patriarchy thing, right? And here's the problem. The problem is that the men that created the patriarchy
did it why?
No. Let's not let that's
but why did it? Why was the patriarchy, or sorry, who does the patriarchy protect?
White people? White men?
Come again. Where all the systems are put in place. Or let me ask a different question. Why is the world civilized? To protect for whose protection?
Everyone.
You sure? Because men out there hunting and gathering and everything. We all know men will live in a box and be comfortable.
But
a man will live in the house with a mattress playing ground and be comfortable.
But you know, I watched a video today though. Right? I don't know if you watched it. This is from MTR. Shout out MTR. You can check out his channel, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, where a woman was saying, when confronted with the fact that sanitary napkins and those sort of things were invented by a man or men, the pushback was that first things first, she was saying women been dealing with that from time immemorial, so a man inventing that is not true. Like, she was describing it, whatever. But the salient point she was trying to make is that a man has always been able to be in a position to get the education to invent something like the sanitary napkin. Not that it has been invented and it has helped in a myriad of ways for women and society at large. It's the fact that we are still the problem. We are always the problem. The point I wanted to make about the patriarchy, right, is when you look at the patriarchy, the problem here is that the people at the top, or the persons at the top, or the persons that would have created this structure in the society are men. Very small percentage of men, but they are men. And what happens is everybody looks at them, the people that allegedly deal with the beauty standards and create all the laws and create all of the oppression and everything for women and everything like that. there are men, but there are a small percentage of men, a very, 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 very small percentage of men. So it's like that small percentage of men represent all men, meaning that we all men have the propensity to do that. We all men are representative of that. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, especially since we're talking about black men, is that this patriarchy ain't for us. This is not for us. You think black men out here prospering en masse in this patriarchal system? I know they're talking about women, right? And I know women go through atrocities as well, or they go through stuff and oppression on a daily bit, discrimination, everything like that. But you don't think that don't happen to black men too? You don't think that we are not discriminated based on who we are, what we look like, where we come from, how we speak, where we get raised, how much money we go in we pocket? Like, what we talking about, yo? What we talking about?
And a lot of times, those same things you highlighted there just now come from whom? Some men don't look at their things, you know. Yeah, time go for. She was compared to Margaret Sanger, by the way.
Who's Margaret Sanger?
The lead apologist for deletion.
Oh.
Yeah? I sent you a graphic there, Neil. I want you to put it on screen because I got two things I want to read, right?
All right. You on screen now.
Yeah. 72% of inmates in state prison were raised by. Yeah. And then this one, 60 million plus deletions since 1973. Yeah. No, Erica, black men do not have advantages over black women in this patriarchy. They do not. Point blank.
Erica, what advantage I got in Barbados over you as a man? And let's be honest now, because if we're talking about the entire society, then sure, because if I want to be a laborer, I obviously got a bigger advantage than you. If we're talking about going and digging wells, I got an advantage over you. But if we're talking about accounts, I don't know what you do in your field. I'm an accountant, you're an accountant, right? And we're going to apply for a job. Can you definitively tell me that the reason I don't get a job or you don't get the job or anybody don't get a job is because of discrimination? What advantage I have over you? What advantage do black men have over black women?
In 2022, where they like to say y'all are, sorry, no, I'm not saying.
How many black men unemployed in this society versus black women?
How many?
Homeless?
When we look at the homeless, when we look at the suicide rate, yeah, and when we're talking about advantages, what advantages do men have over women? Sorry, men have that women don't have. Yeah, because as a matter of fact, I'll give you one. If we decide we can get together, Erica, and you decide that we have a jolly old time, a roll around, and you decide, sorry, you get pregnant, I have no choice. It was gonna happen.
Absolutely
you made a decision on whether I will be a father or not. So in that regard, you actually have an advantage over me. Even though I have one means of protection or contraceptive, that being the condom, or if my pull-out game strong.
It's not effective, but yeah.
Yeah. You got birth control, pills, female condom, etc., etc., etc.
All right. So, Erica, here's the thing. How many men are in that boardroom versus the women in that boardroom?
Exactly. There are other men who are there and they're getting ignored as well. I understand the solipsistic position where it is, oh, I am being ignored. But guess what? Some men are being ignored as well. When a woman turns up for a job and she has to compete with the other men there. We're talking about equality of opportunity, not equality of outcomes. Everybody gets an equal opportunity. What you are not entitled to is an equal outcome. You have to prove based on merit that you deserve the outcomes. We can't all do the same test. I get less marks than you and I get A. Sorry, you get less marks than me and you get A and I get C. Life don't work like that. Life does not work like that.
I see Tango Fox saying, "Oh, I know they could become a woman and get to the top."
As a matter of fact, Tango Fox, know that you brought that up. The beauty of being a woman in this society is that you get to be a babe in the woods when you want to be, and then you get to be some approximation of a man when you want to be. If you approximate being a man and it works out, fantastic. If you approximate being a man and it doesn't work out, then you can claim to be a babe in the woods. I am so innocent and defenseless. Woe is me.
Come and save me.
And who got to come and do the saving?
Society as a whole. This same patriarchy protects its women far more than it protects black man.
The black woman. Because
right.
Erica, you would have made this comment.
Right.
You would have made this comment months ago that the black woman is the most disadvantaged or whatever. The black woman is held to no scrutiny. None. She can do and say whatever she wants. And trust me, we are going to get into that. But that's not for this show. That's Tuesday. We can get into that on a live stream. So Erica, I hope that you are here and present for that show on Tuesday so you can come back and debate with us. Because we are going to show you that the black woman has been held to absolutely no accountability. She can do whatever she likes, say whatever she likes, get away with it.
I ain't even getting into that. And yes, tune into the Tuesday show. But to me, when you look, cleverly, you never went to the police with a black woman. The disrespect is real.
Okay, Erica. Since we're talking about the police, Erica, you call the police. You and me live in a house together. You call the police and say that I hit you, whether I hit you or not. Shoot, I may not even be home, but the police turn up, right? The police turn up because you call the police and say that you getting beat or whatever. When the police turn up and see me in the house, what do you think can happen? You think there can be a discussion?
We don't have
As a matter of fact, I could be the man that get beat. But guess what? I can go to find some place to go. You could have no beat me, and if it's after 6, I can't put you in the street because you don't got no place to go.
But Derek, we don't have to go by an example. This happened to me. Where a woman, because we were having an argument, she drove to my house and I would not let her in to talk. Because I was upset. I was like, look, I didn't want to see you. You're an idiot. Good for me. She came to my house and said she wants access to my house. As I was looking at her from my window downstairs to her in the driveway in the car, she says, and I quote, "If you don't let me in, I'm going to go to District E police station across the road and tell the police that you beat me."
Well, all right. And here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Aston says, and even if she's found to be false in the allegations, not a shred of accountability for it. Yeah? Not a shred. As a matter of fact, shoot. And here's the thing. Here's the thing for, because we talk about violent crimes, right? Rian brought up, those cases earlier. Talking about violent crimes. Men are physical in nature. I said this on a live stream a couple of weeks ago. Men are physical. Women are more emotional. Women are more manipulative. And that's how their aggression is manifested through deception, manipulation, emotional. That is women. So when something happens, women will plot and scheme and get back at you. When something happens to a man, he responds with violence. That is the difference between men and women. So yeah, we got all them cases of violent crimes committed by men. Let me talk about the stuff that goes unrecorded because men don't know. You can't shoot. You put some children for me and that I go in jail for them. They made money. You're gonna do the 5 years that I did? Nope.
And
that is the point, Rian. There are wicked men and women.
But the rhetoric,
we seem to think
go ahead,
that it is only men.
But that is the rhetoric. I was literally just biting my tongue until you finished to say that. Rian, that is the point I made earlier. Human beings ain't shit. We ain't no good.
Point blank.
We have the propensity for atrocities. That is who we are as a species, right? There is a small subset of our society that do horrible things, both men and women. Granted, men do it the most, but the rhetoric out there is, if you go on YouTube and you just take a walk through certain parts of YouTube or just social media, right? Facebook, etc., you would be inundated with the fact that men are not only these violent people en masse doing atrocities en masse, like one in every 2 men, one in every 3 men doing terrible things, right? It is that one, because check this scene, right? Let me deal with this interloper, right? But here's the thing that is hurting me here, right? Is that I am not here to discredit. I don't think we are here. No, not I don't think. I know that we are not here to discredit what women go through. We're not here to discredit what a subset of a race go through, right? Everybody going through some shit. Why? Because people ain't shit. So, with that being said, men go through things too. Yeah? Men have issues too. But we don't talk, 1, and 2, women talk and they talk the loudest. And when you hear them talk, it is almost as if, you know what? Men are dangerous. Not a little bit of men, not some men. Men are dangerous. This woman get here saying that you're going to delete all the babies from the black community. The men, the boys. Right? When you go certain places, when you look at the manosphere, the majority of the manosphere, and you look at what women are saying, we men are coming from a space of saying there is a disconnect, and here are some of the reasons why, particularly in the black community. No, the women go into the extremes like this, in that space, in that society. And the point I'm trying to make is that I'm not discrediting what anybody says. That's not what we are here to do. But at the end of the day, we can't come with this thing, well, look at what men do. Women are the most disenfranchised and oppressed. Like, if we men don't go through, me and Derek, we are 2 black men in Barbados. Right? 2 black men in Barbados. If it is so prevalent that men are so propelled and easy to achieve and be successful, and women are kept down and held down, right? Why me and Derek now starting up a YouTube channel, and we make a minimum wage and we get him by? How many? You look around Barbados, because I ain't going nowhere else, Barbados. You look at the amount of people that are successful, and I don't mean successful in the means that they're in the 1%. I mean people that have cars, that have jobs, that have running water and electricity, people that have certain things that is affordable to them, that they can go out there, get a job, get an income, and come back home and live life, right? Everybody succeeding. More people succeeding that are, sorry, don't let me say that. More people are less susceptible to oppression in Barbados that are being oppressed in Barbados.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you feel that I and Derek and the rest of the black men here in Barbados and around the western part of the world, we have some incentive or benefit as black men, and we have a superior advantage to women, because what women do, what people do, is they take certain spaces. So they look at holistically employment. Right? If you walk in a lonely road and a man approaches versus a woman, now both men and women on guard more for the man. No, it is. The fear is real. This goes back to because human beings ain't shit. When I was in the United States walking boat, right? I used to live in Auckland. I walking boat. Every person that passed me, I was wary of. It was Hispanic, man, woman, black, white. It does not matter why. Because I don't know the country and I don't feel safe there. If I leave my house after this podcast and I walk the street and go down by the beach, right? If I see a woman, you think I can be there like, yeah, babes, we're going on, everything's safe? No. Because I know human nature. It ain't a man nature. It is human nature. Because if I down at the beach at 11 o'clock, that woman down at, or the man down at the beach at 11 o'clock too, for some reason, I might be there to breach, them might be there to rob.
Huh?
The point is that everybody got advantages and disadvantages in this society. The argument is always brought to you that when you look at women, women are disenfranchised and oppressed because they don't get certain jobs. When you look at men, the numbers speak. We are more unemployed. We are more homeless.
More prone to suicide.
More prone to suicide. More prone to poverty. So to me, right, if women feel that they're so oppressed, black women feel that they're so oppressed, right? Why I don't go down to more and see at the construction site women saying, oh, well, let me try to get this money. Let me go and try to
The opportunities are there.
There are opportunities everywhere. So we are talking the Western world and we are talking about black people, right? And I'm sorry to tell you all, but I don't know what fairy tale advantage you think black men have over black women in this Western society. But I got news for you. We in same boat, you know. We in same boat. Men are not more prone to poverty.
Okay. Okay. Let me look at this here. Erica, have you ever heard the comment? People don't let that children don't starve, children don't suffer. You ever heard that comment? Exactly, Aston. They rather sell them parts and get the money easier. Shrug. Well, okay, that meant a different way.
Yeah,
that's not what it was. It was
extreme.
Yeah, but there's a reason OnlyFans exists. Women are able. A woman was able to sell her bath water. Another woman was able to sell pictures of her feet. Rich men, you know, selling pictures of their feet, Erica. Rich men, you know, could go on OnlyFans, except me, my Coogie, that was doing his business in front of KFC in Shafet.
A wild man.
Yeah. But nobody ain't going to put OnlyFans to see them, man. So, and I'll share a story with you guys, right? A friend of mine, he said his dad was on the way out. So he said to him, listen, son, I got some money here, so up in the bank. This money for you. So he go down by the bank and sort out, this he paying or whatever, sort out. He said his father, all right, daddy, well, everything cool, but go for my sister. And the man said, listen, women will always get through. Always. We've done so many shorts where women just getting things. One woman got a man paying she rent. She's really the mortgage, the owner of the house. And then those things happen right here in Barbados. Women will always get through. So that, I know you may not think it, but the man ain't going. Men do not have the options. Men gotta go out there, get it out the mud. You gotta work for it. The man can't just say, let me. It don't work out for me and near here, so every job or whatever. Let me just start at OnlyFans page. No, Jennifer still waiting to see our OnlyFans page. But guess what? Nobody ain't coming to watch me. To do nothing. Shoot. We recorded an episode that we will share with you eventually, where a lady said straight up, where she has a nudes on her phone. She got nudes on her phone. Just nudes, not this ain't she going and doing a fancy photo shooting on it. She had nudes on her phone. Went on OnlyFans, made $7,000 in 2 months. Richer than men in the chat can make $7,000 off the nudes in their phone. Sorry, nudes of them. Yeah? Okay, Rihanna saying I heard a woman in the gym say to the trainer that she can't start her personal training sessions yet because her mind didn't give her the money yet. I was like, where do I find one of these? Facts, Raiden. Facts. Shout out Raiden and the house too, man. G-Syndicate in the crank. Reality is that you could probably get more traffic on this podcast if you were female. So if
very early on, we were told we need a woman.
As a matter of fact, Neil, we've had guests on here. We had one female guest, and it had the most watch views. Study that. The night that the most people tune in was the night the girl was on. Some women may be able to sell their bodies to make money, but the majority of the poor are female and children, even in BIM. We'll bring data next time. That is sure, bring the data. But we are saying to you, a woman with children will all shoot. A woman again, we've seen it several times before. Sherry-Ann Norris, I told you I don't really agree with some how she delivers her stuff, but she said one time, it seems like if you want a house, the best way to get is to breed. That is what she said. Because you only go come in, you pay upon a cry with some children, and you can get sorted out. Muscle cat. Muscle cat. Was in the paper. A working woman. A muscle cat. Was in the paper getting assistance. Rich man. A man come to you and beg you for some money in a car park. The man is going to the paper, to the nation. The boy taking on a man in the nation talk about he want money.
But here's
ain't working like that.
But here's the thing, right? I think the reason why, and Erica, I will take your point, right? That the majority of poor are female and children, even in BIM, right? I will concede that point. But here's the thing. We have to look at why. Men have more, women don't want to go out there and do the things that men have to do to get a job, right? In terms of, and I ain't talking about en masse, right? The dangerous jobs, the digging, the moral, the everything, right? Women en masse, they don't want to do that, right? There's a level of, scratch that. The point I'm trying to make is that there are reasons why these things happen. And this is the only point I'm trying to make here. And I think this wraps back into what we are talking about here. We can come and we can say and find all of these statistics, and they're very important. But we always have to ask ourselves why. Why is this happening? Why are these things the way they are? Right? And more often than not, you will, if you really have a discussion and a thought experiment about it, it is not men, black men, that have women poor. If you understand what he's saying. So
I want read Rian's comment, okay. Right? In the UK, if a woman gets pregnant, she can automatically get a housing unit, car, pampers, and an allowance. I know this because I have a female cousin who did this with her 2 children. She was able to get her nursing degree a number of years after, based on government support. So now that Erica is talking about the patriarchal society, a woman's body may be her best asset. Guess it is an advantage from one perspective. That's sarcasm, by the way. Here's the thing. The patriarchy has created a situation where, as you said, a woman can benefit from her body. Guess what? Men want what women have physically. And I know that sounds so misogynist and sexist and all the other is to say, but guess what? There is an only IG model only flask culture that is being bred here in Barbados. All the girls online flossing. Who the flossing for? They got some girls that out every night party and flossing. How you think they end that? When there's a clerk at somebody's office when they come working for $2,500. Yeah. In the patriarchal society, a woman's body may be her best asset. As you were saying, here's the reality. She could go and she could work during the day, and she got your body to work with at night. That's just a reality. That's just a fact. A man got to work, and then he got to work again. He ain't got the option of working up, as my mother would say, to make money, unless he's coogie. Yeah, I know that that's hard to say. And yes, now that you mentioned these policies, which is what I want to come back to. Who established these policies, Erica? Who establishes these policies? The marginalization of single mothers. It is not charity and giveaways. Equity. I love that word. That's the best word to use. Equity. The best parts. Equity. Not equality. The patriarchy I love to complain about is what put those same things in place. Right? And yes, thank you, Rian. A man does not have those same services available to him. Correct, Ramel. He got to go and find a job. At the end of the day, Erica, at the end of the day, men have to get out of the mud. And nobody ain't helping the man get out of the mud. They ain't helping. And that is very prevalent, Rian, in the US, where women get pregnant. But to put a man in court for child support. Rick Ross. A matter of fact, yeah, this was going to be a short, but you know, I mean, since we're here and we in it, let me get it. Rick Ross went to court. He had to pay $11,000 or something like that in child support, right?
Mm.
People bought for murder. I said, well, look at how Mike Rick Ross paying this junk money in child support, right? And the cast out we girl Kendra G because she said, you know, that should be enough money, right? Erica.
The patriarchy only cared about women when women fought and got the vote. Patriarchy only cared about women.
All right, I can come back to that, but let's take your video. Let me just run that video and listen to what was said, right? Okay. Because if you think that, well, Rihanna said about girls getting pregnant, it's a joke, listen to this here.
Just let me.
In the meantime,
load it. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Senate podcast. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Dislike, comment, share, subscribe. Share with your friends. Let us build this community. We do content for you 5 days a week. We do these 2 live streams, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. And we also do Senate Shorts, which we deliver to you Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Those are the shortened versions of the Senate. And we deal with things that are just a little bit more absurd on social media. All right, just trying to get this thing going here, Derek. Just give me a second. All right, so we on screen now.
I was just watching Kendra G page where everybody told something. Why you talking something $11,000? Rick Ross paying his baby mom $11,000 a month. Not enough for 3 kids. Child. Because if she want to live in a nice house, forget nice, she want to live in a rich ass house in a rich ass neighborhood the way her kids deserve to live. That's not enough. They all need money for private school. We need money for cars. I said cars plural because we deserve it. Like, you not about to hit me with 3 kids. $11,000 is not enough money. Mortgage. Unless he done bought the cars and bought the house and paid for the school, then giving her $11,000 on top of that, then no, that is not enough money. And I don't want to hear nobody saying about $11,000 being enough just for the kids and she still need to work. Nope, I don't need to work. I pushed out all 3 kids.
No, what was said to that is that if your children are living a particular lifestyle, right? Your children are in private school, your children has whatever. right? And that is the lifestyle that they know, and it has to be upkept. Then I could understand if it totals $11,000 or $20,000. I could understand somewhere along the line where that makes sense. You need cars, my girl. Cars. And I sure you ain't talking about a Camry, nor you ain't talking about a Prius. I know you're there talking about a Mercedes and a BMW, because you deserve it.
Here's the thing, right? Coming back to Rian's point. Some people do it because they benefit, right? Which is why you would see a lot of get it, particularly in Black society. A woman will get pregnant and she keep it, even though she knows that she don't really want to be an with the father or whatever. They keep it because there's going to be some financial benefit to it, right? Look at the timeline of those policies and universal suffrage and tell me I'm wrong again. Erica, this patriarchy that you are so fixated on. I keep coming back to it. When we go back to the article I read early in the show, it said that men went out, they did the risky jobs, etc., 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 and as such, they expected that, or they would have hoped that they would have had a little bit more power or whatever. And I suppose that is what you are considering to be the patriarchy. Where does this patriarchy exist today? You have the same opportunities to work and earn. Because here's the reality, right? Here's the reality. The men that work at Leighton Power, for example, are paid very well, from what you understand, because their job is dangerous, right? You cannot expect to be compensated. And we can start to get a little touchy because certain things are going to be weighed more heavily. Let me put it that way. Because of the nature of them. There's a reason accountants get big money. There's a reason lawyers get big money.
No, lawyers would beg to differ.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
And there's a reason that there's a man that playing in a band down on the West Coast all know that I get $150 for that job. Play 2 hours, and if you're lucky, you get $150. Because the importance is not placed on that. You might get $100 if you're lucky. Let me come to my friends, the US national women's football team. They want the same money as the men. Nobody ain't watching women's football like that. So what you might be better in your lane than the men's team. More people come out to watch the men's team. You can't be compensated the same. So the patriarchy that you are fighting against has now put you, because this come back the way I said, we have civilized the world to the point where we don't need men. Or think we don't. That is the real challenge here, Men are no longer considered important. Sorry, Waden. They want more than the men's team. They want more because they want the same money or more money and privileges too. And here's the challenge from a contract that they negotiated in their collective bargaining agreement. And there's a problem with the social contract, right? Because You say you want X, men give you X, then you want Y, men give you Y, you want Z too. Go up, post, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Yeah, Fergie says the idea behind what people describe as a patriarchy is a flawed motivation. If you're civilizing the world, the idea of the fittest will survive sort of describe the balance of who held power. Patriarchy is what put policy where businesses are matched. Exactly. Who was the patriarchy designed to benefit? That is what you want to get at. Because, and this is the Jedi mind trick of this whole thing, right, folks? Women want you to believe that they are losing. They want you to believe that they are losing. When we live in a society where two women can sit on YouTube and talk about how we should get rid of Black boys King Herod style and don't dig nothing about it, that life is still online. We did a short, and he was telling me about it there. So just before we started, we did a short a few weeks ago about a man 7'2" that chased down another man in the street for some money that he was owed for a sexual favor. And that video was hit with some kind of strike because of what, child endangerment or something. What they say in the video?
Yeah, they said I was actually just literally just reading the email. It was saying because they're trying to get understanding of it, but yeah, basically it was child endangerment or something like that, they say.
Right. So we live in this society that has been the patriarchy, as y'all like to say so much, where women can say what they like, no repercussion. Yeah? No repercussion. Do as they like, no repercussion. And next week, I can really get into it next week.
Wait, hold on a minute there. Hold on. Women are not losing. They're actually dominating and men are being emasculated. Rian?
Exactly.
No, hold on. Can you give examples? Because you see, this I think this is the problem here that we are having in this discussion between men and women in society, particularly Black people. We are saying statements, but not giving imperative data to support it. You understand what I mean?
But this is the challenge, Neil. This is the challenge. One of our people came in the chat on Tuesday. We had presented the data, right? And Lanzi Dan Queen, I think it was. And she was unprepared to accept the data that was presented to her. So in the face of empirical evidence, evidentiary proof, she was unable to say, I accept the point. But on another point, where no evidence was presented, she was willing to accept that point because it benefited her position. So even when you present the facts, the cold hard numbers, Neil, they don't want to accept. And as Rihanna said, they are not losing, they are actually dominating. They are dominating and trying to make us believe that they are these babes in the woods. It is the Jedi mind trick of all Jedi mind tricks. Men, I want you to understand, right? I want you to understand. This game is not set up for you to win. This game is not set up. This patriarchy ain't set up for you. Because, as we had mentioned, when you start talking about what is called, not minority hire, what is affirmative action hires. You start a Black woman can get hired before a Black man. A Black woman who is homosexual can definitely get hired before a Black man. And as a matter of fact, right, if he says something about it, We cried on the patriarchy and misogyny and all them things and shut it down. We don't want to have a discussion about anything because it is offensive to state the truth. Imagine we did a short, Neil, about a woman, a particularly large woman, and we could not use the word fat to describe that woman. We had to talk all around that point so that we would not be accused of fat shaming. We had a dipsy doodle around that because we can't say, well, yeah, facts way, and the easiest way for a black man to win is to be transgender. And I believe firmly that that's what a lot of men doing. Identify as. Shoot, we saw a swimmer that started breaking records here the other day. I identify as.
Oh, not many men do that, man.
But
some men are, but I mean,
we are in this is what we're living in. This is what we are living in. You can't say how things are.
No.
A woman can say point blank, I don't want XYZ in a man. Yeah? A woman can say she don't want a fat man, she don't want a broke man. We did a short hilariously a couple of weeks ago where a woman said she ain't got no time for the broke. Mother effers. But she was homeless. And she feels entitled to somebody else's resources. Yeah? A woman can say she don't want a short man. I got a partner of mine, he say short man don't get no love. Meanwhile, she can say all of that was being 5'3", 300 pounds. And it makes no difference. So we are like, nobody ain't checking down. But this is the patriarchy. This is the patriarchy in which we live, Neil. This is the patriarchy in which we live. Two women can sit on YouTube and conjure up images of King Herod and Hitler. Are we cool with that? No problem. We cool with that. But if a man says, hey, you don't really follow me. How could you? How could you? Yeah.
I would say this, right? I think somewhere along the lines, black people got segregated, separated from each other, men and women. I don't know how we got to this space where black men and black women have such a divide to the point where we're talking.
Well, let me give you a little history lesson as to how this work out, right? Back in the 1960s, when you bring up, because they were married, yeah, coming up through the 50s, black men and women in segregation times were marrying, living together, everything. Cool beans. But then the 60s rolled around. We got the birth control pill. We got the US government saying, hey, if you live in a house with a big, give some assistance, ladies, but you can't got no man in the house. And women say, you know what? If I got a check coming, I don't need no man. I got a birth control pill. I can have sex with who I like. This man killing my vibe. Let me move on. So now you got a free check. You got a birth control pill. You could diddle with who you want to diddle. Everything good. Right? Then the war on drugs, Reaganomics. You start incarcerating black men. So now black men ain't in the house at all. So, shoot, you mean free. And then we started pushing to the 90s. Jungle fever, waiting to exhale. We talked about that the other night. Where it is now, I don't need the man because guess what? You got access now to education through the same patriarchy because we got equal rights and justice, everything good. The black men get locked up for crimes. Yeah? For drugs. Only black men do drugs in the 70s and 80s, huh? No black women did drugs. Yeah? Let me share a story with you quickly, just to separate and show you the difference between men and women. A woman runs a light. Woman runs a lake. She was checking her phone or something like that. Ran a lake, killed 3 children or something like that. Yeah, 4 years. A man was driving a white man by the way, driving a semi truck. Brakes failed. Killed some people. 110 years.
Oh my God.
110 years. But it's the patriarchy that we're living in, and men benefit all the way. No benefits to women. Not like they getting the same time for the same crimes on there, so you know what I mean? Nah. Not at all. Let me see. Somebody wanted to touch there. Yes, Marlon says black people fighting for rights for years, eons, and transgender/gay persons jump the line, right? And here's the thing about that: if you listen to what those 2 ladies said in that live stream, they talked about how they compared their struggle to the civil rights movement, people fighting for rights and stuff like that. I said that compared men to white supremacists. Compared men to white supremacists. Yeah. Go ahead, Neil. Sorry, man.
Right, no problem. We have gotten to a space now where we as black people are divided into what we see here now, right? I think what we have done is we have gotten into this whole patriarchy thing, and black women have taken it on to empower and use it as a rallying cry, right? But I want people to understand some facts. Human beings have the propensity to do violent things, and this society is not designed for black people to succeed at a commensurate rate as white people. We have more obstacles, more challenges, etc. Men and women. We are infighting in the black community, right? I understand. Some men out there have done terrible things. Guarantee you though that it is not as disproportionate as you believe. It is not as egregious as you believe, right? I see Erica is saying, Rianne, do you know how many sexual assaults are unreported or dropped by women because women know or have felt that they were more on trial? I missed something here.
Erica, Erica, don't try to dipsy do to the man, Erica.
How we get there?
Because we know in 2021 that a woman she only got to say, and they saw somebody mention it. Rihanna says women are putting men in jail based on alleged sexual assault without any proof.
Again, this goes back to the same thing you're talking about, this is the same thing you're talking about. Erica, there are examples of men doing terrible things and women doing terrible things. Yeah? Human beings are capable of, we getting sidetracked on something here where, yes, men are wrongly accused for certain things, but then there are men that are doing terrible things, right? So in both cases, men and women in the various contexts and examples doing terrible things. So don't let me get bogged down with that, right? At the end of the day, you have to understand a few things. One, people ain't so good, so there are things in place to ensure that you don't fall victim to what's going on out there. One of those things is marry before you carry. If you don't feel like you should get married, do your absolute due diligence to vet the man that has access to your womb. I don't know. I don't understand how we have gotten to a space now where women, people, black people in general, she lives in a society where black people make up 12 point something%. I can't remember the figure right now, but it's 13% of the US population are black people. She is encouraging black women to baby delete black boys. I don't know, man. I think again, we all come from a space of wanting to, when we talk about things men go through, when we talk about the disadvantages or advantages or oppression or whatever we talk about when it comes to men, I understand, right, where there is a need to want to bring up or defend women and to highlight certain things women go through. But again, I want to point out that this space is for us to bring balance to that. 1. 2, while women do go through a lot of things, we are here to tell you through anecdotal and empirical data that men in thriving, black men is thriving and surviving in this patriarchy as society will have you believe. And we are also here to tell you that we are not as dangerous or as out here like Vikings pillaging and doing all sorts of things as the media would have you believe. We are out here setting up stacks of money and women broke and destitute in the streets en masse. No. So read published accounts of victims going to jail in BIM. Just Google, cause the foreign white women go public. I don't know.
Having said all that,
I feel like
all that, right?
I don't know what it is. I don't know how we get there. And I mean that I don't want to be facetious. I literally don't know. Wasn't paying attention.
Having said all that, as you said, Neil, we are not as dangerous en masse. The accounts of what Erica is trying to bring to us are not as widespread as people would want to have us believe, right? I know that we will always be the villain, right? And we're supposed to be painted as the villain. We're coming at that kind of time, right, Neil? But Erica says women dominating is simply not true. Female inequality has reduced, but it still exists. I don't know how somebody who lives in Barbados, where our president, prime minister, head of the judiciary, several members of parliament are all female, but then say that women are not dominated, right? And in a society where women are free to say and do whatever they want, a lot of times without repercussion, I don't know how we can say that women are dominating. Yeah? You're saying about the published accounts of victims going to the police in BIM, and then the women, the other women go, the Caucasian ladies go public. A lot of times they go public, no evidence, just the allegation, and a man's life is destroyed, right? And guess what? When that happens, then the boy saying, well, sorry, somebody might say sorry about that. One man went to jail recently for 16 years. For 16 years. Why? Because he was falsely accused. Yeah? And here's the thing. You could consent, make it more and change your mind. Guess what? Mine going up. Mine going up. Yeah? But hey guys, we just let you know this is the thing in which we live, the environment in which we live. And you have to understand that dominance will only be considered dominance when it is financial. Yeah, and that's what a lot of people look at. You frozen, Neil, but
I working on it behind the scenes. That's why it's so quiet.
Yeah. I think that's what a lot of women are looking at. Because they're thinking corporate, they're thinking jobs, fancy jobs like that. But I want dig in the graves. You know what I mean? But in a society when everything is pushing towards being female, even men being female, I fail to see how we can honestly and objectively say that women are disadvantaged en masse in the society. I fail to see it. Yeah? I fail to see it. But This has been another edition of the Senate podcast here on YouTube. Like, share, comment, subscribe. You're back there, Neil.
Before you
yeah,
run
man,
out there, I just want to give my 2 cents on this, right? I want people to understand, because we've gotten to a space now, and I understand it's a natural, organic discussion or whatever, right? But I don't want us to lose the theme that we were talking about tonight, right? The title is the Expendables, right? Men are seen as expendables, particularly black men, right? And I want people to understand how dangerous and how nonsensical that thought process is, because at the end of the day, if we start pushing this narrative of, yeah, we do this and do that and do the next, it may not become legislation, it may not become a societal norm, but you would influence at least one woman to do that. And that is, can you imagine that thought process in one person? Forget the society at large. One person, a woman, decide, you know what, got his black child, I want father in a good, in a use. Let me deal with this here. Right? Like that is not, that don't make sense. And I want people to understand how dangerous that is. While I understand we have gotten to a space of people are empowered and everybody understand that women too can get it out of the mud, and women have opportunities and education to do all that they want to do. We understand and appreciate that. But the answer cannot be men are the problem in society. It can't be all men. It can't be all black men. It can't be the majority of black men, because it's simply not true. It is simply not true that the majority of black men are out here treating women poorly and doing all of these things. It isn't true. You understand? So I don't. It's probably a good thing to end it, because my camera here playing the fool.
Yeah, hold tight. Let me just deal with this here too. Erica says, "And the first female PM after how many years of independence and free education?" Good. I am glad you've said it. Free education, free opportunity. The imbalance of the male and female in the party has to do with whom, with what. If the party is open to anybody, shoot, we see a man that start he own party going to Mars or something, so and he running in a political campaign. We got the sock man, he going to run. So do not blame the fact that women do not go into politics en masse on men. You can't do that. We've all had the same education. But guess what? When you go into a political campaign and you go to be up and down at people's place, walking the streets, campaigning. I mean, certain jobs women do not naturally gravitate towards. When the campaign take up long hours and you want to be home with your family.
Only that too, but politics is it's
a dirty game.
Very incendiary game. All of a sudden, your life getting brought in front,
exactly,
the world and sundry on a political platform, and got to deal with why this and that and the next and third.
And okay, and I'm glad they see Ariane coming down the road now. If we're gonna talk about the inequality, let me talk about the inequality at NCC. Let me talk about the inequality at MTW, the inequality at BWA. Because I don't see a truck from MTW going up with it's still MTW. I don't see a truck from MTW going up with all women in it, or 2 women and 2 men. No truck from Waterworks don't go with 2 women and 2 men. Like the power send out a truck, it don't got 2 women and 2 men. And it's not because those jobs are unavailable to women. Women don't go for them. When they see a construction, when they drive down Paynes Bay and they pass by SO the road, the digger in front of Tamarind Cove at night time, and you see half women, half men. And you see half women or half men. And you see a woman on the job site the night, and when you see a woman on the job site during the day, she doing well waving the flag. So don't come now and say There's inequality in the political parties in terms of men and women. They got inequality in the police force. They got inequality in the BDF. Go and get shoot at. Huh? It can't just be the cushy jobs if you want to talk equality. Come and dig up some scrape off the topsoil with an excavator. Come and stir some concrete. If we talk inequality, let me talk equality across the board. Start looking at the top end with the CEO level. Let me talk equality. Rihanna up on a job site, she see one woman if she lucky. Let me talk equality. When I want my gutter clean for the roof, I should be able to call a woman and she come and take the asphalt. So let me talk equality. For man nor woman, Ruben, stirring concrete ain't easy.
It's not glamorous work either.
No.
You can't post IG posts about it.
And that's the problem. And they're pretty about that. Right? So if we talk inequality, let me talk equality. Because trust me, I have no problem with it. If the women can come and they can dig some. I sing for funerals, Neil. I had a coach, Ricky Skeet, cricket coach. The man Derek Marshall used to singing for money. Because they started playing cricket at 7 or 8. And they could price us out because they were singing for funerals for money. That was my thing. Sing for funerals. Right? I made a lot of money as a little man coming out singing for funerals. And in all the years I've been singing at funerals, I have never seen a female grave. Never. And I've been singing plus 40 now. And I've been singing at funerals since 7 or 8. Never seen a female grave. Yeah? When it is well playing and the rock's going down, 3 men pulling a mole. Yeah? So if we talk inequality, let me talk equality across the board. Neil, I sent you a graphic if you could get up on screen.
Be on screen.
And show you the approach that some women have taken to this thing. And men, I want you to be careful, right? Sorry, if some innocent men's reputations have to take a hit in the process of undoing the patriarchy, that is a price I am absolutely willing to pay. I told you just now, I don't want to make you believe them losing when they are benefiting. The patriarchy is allowing her to bring an innocent man into disrepute. And we cool with it. We cool with it. Ladies and gents, Neil and I don't make up the rules. We just make sure you know where they are. Yeah? You can ignore reality, or fellas, fellas, you can ignore reality all you want, but you cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. Believe you me, you cannot ignore those consequences. Be the best version of you for you. That is the best move for you right now. Be the best version of you for you. And we will see you guys next week. Look out for the Senate short tomorrow.
It's a contaminated environment. You know two tools about that?
Before we go there, I see something going on in the comments. So I see Austin saying that Erica, you have been speaking nonsense for quite some time. Let me try not to do that. Like, we may not agree, we may think it is ridiculous, but I don't want to encourage this space. I want everybody to have their say and feel. Let them come. Let everybody speak. Yeah. Let everybody have the say, right? Because, well, you may not agree with it, or might be downright nonsense. It's still best for people to speak and say what they have to say, because I don't want to start filtering this space or anything. So I just want to make that something in the comments. If when the comment comes,
as we said, keep it respectful in the comments.
Just keep it respectful, and that goes both ways. So the same way I say, Austin, Don't necessarily call the woman what she's saying is nonsense. Let the woman have her speak. That's what this space is about. Everybody have to say, right? But be respectful. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, sorry to mess up your eloquent sign off, but peace and love, everybody.
See you in the next week.